Welcome back to Live What You Love. Today we're going to be talking about how to build the immortal target, right? So lately, everything in archery, price is going up and people keep paying for it. It's kind of ridiculous. Today we're going to be talking about how to buy a relatively inexpensive target and keep it alive for a long time to come. So there's a lot of sales and marketing out there that gets you to believe that these foam targets are the best thing there is. And yeah, they're great to shoot into, they're easy to pull the arrows out and all that. But what almost always ends up happening is if you shoot a lot, after a few weeks, you're gonna have holes all throughout them. So the central cavity, regardless of which face you're using, is gonna be shot out, similar to this. And you can't really do much to fix that, because you end up with all this just foam nonsense that you can't do anything with. Same thing with this, just holes all throughout in the centers. There's no real structure to that, right? Now, I will have the exact price for these Morel foam targets. These are called the high rollers. If I'm being honest, the reason that I bought these targets is because they look good on thumbnails. But today, I don't really care about that. I just want to, I'm tired of spending $124, $129, whatever the actual price is. Again, will be on the screen. I don't want to keep doing that and just having to get a new target every so often, which is a lot more often than I thought with how much I shoot. So instead, today, I want to talk about this guy. This is a Morel Yellow Jacket. It's the YJ 450 Plus. Okay? And now it's made by Morel. This is actually, I believe I got this for $84 at Alvarado Archery. Thank you guys for selling it to me. But you're probably saying, okay, this is Morel, that's Morel, what the hell's the difference? And there's a selling point with the foam that it's so nice to shoot into, and it's like this high technology foam. Yeah, but it wears out and then you can't really fix it. So what's the internal composition of this target that makes it a little different? Let me show you. It's like a black felt material. It's not that thick, it's just ribbons of it and strands and little triangles and cut up. It's almost like spare crap that they just shove inside this, right? And then what's the outer coating? The outer coating is very similar to tarp that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, which we'll get into in a little bit. But because the internal components aren't just foam, you're not going to shoot it and shoot it and shoot it and have it just wear out over time and then hollow out so you can't use it. What ends up happening with this is that all these little strips and stuff end up moving outwards. So if you can see the shape of this target right now, you see how it's kind of bubbled out instead of maintaining that rectangular shape? So that's from a whole bunch of shots, a whole bunch of shots, whole bunch of shots, right? It just kind of plumes everything out. So if I shoot this way, it plumes this way, and then I rotate, I shoot this way, it plumes this way. So right now, all the material that still originally made up the internal components of the target are still here. It's not like this thing sheds and makes all this, for example, this red foam crap that these Morel foam targets do. The high rollers, I don't think I'll ever buy another one again. I actually really like shooting into the black, just like the black felt material. And because of that, I kind of saw an opportunity to make a video. Archery's getting so freaking expensive lately. The bows are ridiculous. The sights are ridiculous. We have a $700 sight now. I mean, come on. Archery's supposed to kind of be for everybody. It's not supposed to be this crazy investment like golf to get into. I don't know why archery got so fancy lately, but this video is kind of a kickback, right? I thought about it, and I have two solutions to kind of revitalize this target and make it worth the crap again and kind of double down on its life. If you want a quick fix, reminder, this is an $84 target. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, go to where they have tape, and I want you to pick up some of this Gorilla Tape. Let me show you exactly which one. That Gorilla Tape. And you be sure to look at how thick the tape is. If there's like a bazillion windings, it means that the actual individual strips are really thin. So you want some thickness or else this won't do anything. So the first method is find the place that has your biggest hollowed out area. So for me, that's right here. That's gonna be right here. I like shooting into this face, which is kind of like a dartboard. That was the one that I probably use the most often. And if you can see from the side, check this out. So forearm, I can go way in there before I meet any resistance. And that's because all the material inside has blown out, right? But it's still there, it's just blown out a little bit. So what I like to do is kind of stick my hands in up towards the sides. So I'll put it in, up towards the sides, and then pull towards the center. And do that as much as I can, kind of work my way back, and then just rotate it around and do that everywhere that I can stick my hand in, right? It also really helps to, you see how bowed out this is? You would eventually want to flip this down and kind of hit it on the ground a couple times, maybe jump on it, push all that stuff that's now on the ground bowing towards the floor, up, back towards center. But for right now, you just stick your hand in. I feel like I'm gonna inseminate some cows. Yeah, you can feel all the material, and it just needs to be pulled back to center. Now, if it's bowing out too much on one side, just pull some of this crap out, shove it back in the other way. You can see all this stuff. I mean, it's literally like, it's like you put your old clothes in a shredder. It's just this black felt. It just kind of needs to be reorganized. We're just gonna take some of this out, reorganize it, so we get our box. That's pretty flat right there. This side's already pretty good. That one's nice and flat. Now we just gotta work all this back inside where the voids are. So I can see there's a void right here in this corner, here, here, here. So I'm just gonna push it back in. We're definitely needing some more in the center. Certainly are getting there. Good. Good. And you can see how much more uniform it's gotten, because everything that was bowing out, we just pushed back into the center, which is kind of the goal. Yeah, it takes a little bit of work, but my time is not worth $84 for 5 minutes. So I'm gonna do it every time. Very nice. Good. So regardless if you want to go cheap fix, which is going to be the Gorilla Tape, you can get one roll of this for like $9.80 or just about 10 bucks. You can get one roll. I got 2 rolls just in case, but 20 bucks instead of buying a new $84 target, putting in 10 minutes of work to reassociate the internal components and then taping over it. And then you can even draw your own targets on there and kind of customize it to whatever you want. So that's option 1. Option 2, which is the option I'm going to be doing, you're going to need a heavy duty tarp. Now if you look, let me show you. So look at this material, right? This has been the tarp. It's on the outside. It's kind of netted together and woven, right? Not too thick, not too thin. Holds up pretty well. Now, if you look at the components of this tarp, you see almost that exact same woven pattern as the constituents of this face. So, heavy duty tarp, I figured, so I'm gonna put a plate on the base. We're gonna go up the side, over the top, back down the side, and we'll have a little bit of spare and a little bit of spare. That's why I got the 6x8, because this target is not 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. So the 6 foot was our minimum diameter that we had to worry about, but I think we'll still be able to tuck that under. So because we're doing option 2, the Gorilla Tape is gonna wait, because I'm actually gonna do the heavy duty tarp first. So let me show you how we're gonna go about doing that and what we need. All right, one of the things, I just got some spare plywood lying around. This is 1/2 inch. I used this when I rebuilt the boat and stuff. I used to have a lot of this lying around. Just measure out whatever the bottom dimension is of that yellow jacket target and cut it out with the circular saw, jigsaw, whatever suits your fancy. That's gonna be our base plate. All right, let's get an approximate dimension real quick so that we can do a square. Cut it out. Say probably 15 by 15. Yeah, it seems like 15 is the right way to go. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just gonna be sitting on the base of your target. Yeah, let's make sure she fits. Boom. Very nice. Before I do anything affixing the 15 by 15 piece, that's 1/2 inch marine plywood. You don't need marine plywood, but it's more water resistant, so I'm using that. Before I put that on the base, I want to kind of flatten these out. So I'm going to use a little bit of duct tape. I'm not going to do the whole outer surface or anything yet, but I am going to kind of flatten these so that when I'm putting pressure wrapping the tarp, nothing kind of bulges out again. Okay, now real quick, just something that'll make it easier. Do a couple pieces of tape, get the plywood just loosely attached, so when you flip it, it's not moving around or anything. Now, I think it's time for the heavy duty tarp. Oh, one other thing we might need. Well, it's not really a might, it's a we will need it. And that'll kind of help explain why the hell we have this piece of wood here. So just standard staplers, little DeWalt stapler, just manual, mechanical. You know, these are the size staples I'm using. And originally, I was like, okay, I'll just put the tarp over it and staple it in, right? So straight on the, and yeah, the staple goes in, if you can see that. But this isn't like a stapler that you would have in grade school or something where there's a bottom where the staple's gonna bend and hook back. So you can literally just pick this out and it's still pretty much the exact same U, which is not what we want. We need it to bite into something. Hence, this piece of plywood on the bottom. So we're gonna wrap the entire thing. Now we have tape kind of covering our wounds, right? So that's like our temporary bandage. And while we're establishing our pressure with our heavy duty tarp, that will prohibit anything from squeezing out. So right now it's just kind of manhandling this thing until I get that tarp pretty tight. Also, I believe that these are 10 10 bucks at Home Depot for the 6x8. If you go like the one size up, I think it goes up to about 20 bucks, but this one should be about 10 bucks. So take your section, find the 8 foot across and fold that over so that you've got 4 feet and 6 feet going long. The 4 feet, just go to where you have it doubled over, and that's your middle point, and that's where I want to keep track of. It's just the middle. Now, you're going to expand it, and you're going to have that middle piece sitting right on the edge of your wood, right? So that's going to be your starting point. So I know that this way, I have plenty of room. I've got 4 feet that way, I've got 4 feet this way, and I've got my 6 feet that way. And the 6 feet is our limiting factor. That's why we're starting on this side of the wood. We don't want to start in the middle. We don't want to start on this side. We need to make sure we have material, and if it wraps all the way around, like I think it will, we'll end up pretty much covering the whole thing anyways. But that's how I would start. Okay. And none of these are pulling out. So sure, the staples are not going completely in, whatever. That doesn't really matter. You can just take a hammer afterwards and flatten them out. You just need them so that regardless of how much you're pulling, you're not getting that out of that wood. Okay, at this point, we're gonna turn it board side facing the floor. So you can see I've gone all the way over. We're gonna wrap all the way back. Make sure it's about as tight as we can get it. So that's real nice and tight. Not really a whole lot of slack, which is what we want. We definitely want those compressive forces helping us out. Now once you kind of have this taut, just roll it one more time. And yeah, pretty much exactly what we thought. It does match up pretty perfectly. But for right now, we're just concerned with getting that tight fit. Worked out pretty good. I'm gonna put some more on this side just so we have something holding it down, so we don't have this giant flap. With all the excess that we have on the ends, so right now we've got a great fit going around 4 of the 6 faces. And on the 2 faces, so one here, one there, that we have extra material, we're gonna use our Christmas present wrapping skills and try to fold it up as neatly as we can. We'll fold it over here, staple it down kind of the same way. Whenever you're wrapping presents, triangles are your best friend. So if you pull everything to one side, kind of get that tight down on that corner right there. See how it's pretty good? And they can pull this up. Just make a nice little triangle. Okay. Now with the slack on the other side, we're gonna take care of that after we do our first triangle. Bunched up stuff, you still want it relatively single layers. Just put a couple in to hold it. Okay, and now we just gotta take care of the slack on this side. Triangles, best friend. Okay, so we're gonna make a triangle that feeds up onto this side as well. And having multiple layers of this heavy duty tarp is only a pro. If you got too much extra, just trim it. It's really easy to cut through if you got a sharp knife. All right, let me get the other side done, and then when that part's done, we'll jump into the next step. I decided to do things a little bit differently on this side just because I had so much slack on the other side and it ended up being kind of a hassle. So I cut off everything. You can see there's a lot of excess, so if we ever have to patch any holes or anything, we're good. But just cut it off until you're maybe 20 inches, and then cut little flaps down here. Just cut out and cut out so that it covers about half. They can just use that as your covering, way neater, and then just fold your final flap up. That's a much better way, in my opinion. And then after we get this flap kind of stapled down and it looks nice and neat, then we can go back and trim off the excess. So at this point, if you're good with just having a target, maybe taking a spray paint can, putting some dots on here, you're good to go. The target's reinforced, you got everything reassociated and kind of centralized, so you're not going to have that weak point in the middle. And like we talked about, that black felt is movable. It's not like the Morel high rollers where they just get those huge gaps. So a couple of options from this point. Because I have white duct tape and I got white so that I can draw whatever I want on there, I'm gonna, over the next few minutes, I'll just put it on fast forward, but I'm gonna go white duct tape around the whole thing, add some extra structure. And it's not duct tape, it's actually Gorilla Tape. That's the best type that you can get because it's thicker. The other types of tape that are too thin, when you shoot them, it almost acts like a fried egg. It'll just kind of crack and shatter. I think I'll put that up on the screen right now so you can see what I was talking about. Originally, I had tried 3M tape, which is quite thin. And the issue that you run into with that, you got your entry on this side. And then as your arrows kind of blow through the back, it almost shatters like an eggshell because it's so thin. So don't use 3M. All right, we've got practically a brand new target here. You can hear how dense that is now. I'll shoot the bow into each side here in just a sec so we can test, make sure there's no weak spots, see if there was a method to the madness or if that whole thing was just BS. We'll find out here in a sec. You can take some Sharpies. You can draw dots on here. Some people like drawing real dots, or real small dots, maybe the size of a quarter or a nickel, like aim small, miss small, that whole thought process. I personally like drawing the broadside of a deer with anatomy so that I can kind of visualize what I'm looking at. Even when I'm just looking at the outer fur on a deer, I can still say, like, in my head, okay, there's that little triangle, the bones go up here. It's time. We're gonna test it out. Make sure there's no weak points right in the middle, right? This bow, this thing slings them. This is my backup bow. I'm waiting on a new string for my lift, but this is the Blackout MV3. I can get with this arrow's 407 grains. I have a 30.5 inch draw. I chronoed this exact setup just the other day and I was getting 316. So it's not like this is a slow bow that I'm shooting into the target to test, right? That barely went in. Like, barely. That thing is so compact now. It's exactly what I wanted to see. I'll shoot one more and then we'll check it. It's working great. I'm gonna show you guys. Just shot two of them right into where that weak point used to be. And I mean, you can see the lack of penetration. Look at this. Hold right here. I only went in that far because everything is all super compact now. Let's check this one too. A little farther. But still, that is insanity. And how did we do on here? Yeah, the thicker tape, you can see it's literally just keeping its shape exactly. It's not folding in on itself or anything. It's not ripping like that 3M crap tape did. This will work great. All right, so we tested it with a very, very fast bow. 316 feet per second is screaming fast. It's not like a 350 grain arrow. It still has about 410 grains of weight. This thing stops them like nothing. I mean, you can hear it. Like, you can hear the density. That's really, really good. That's exactly what we were looking for. So yeah, we did Gorilla Tape, 10 bucks. You only need one roll. You need heavy duty tarping, 10 bucks. Get this 6x8 dimension one, and if you dimension it out correctly, that's more than enough. Just do it the way I showed you earlier. So our brand new target for one of these, the Yellow Jackets by Morel, would be $84 roughly, right? And what we did, our fix, actually made it pretty much better than brand new, because the arrows aren't going in. The arrows are going even shallower than when I first got the brand new version of the target. So having the tape kind of constricting all the way around is a great thing. If you're into DIY stuff, if you're into kind of saving a buck here or there, or just doing kind of fun projects. So for me, this was just kind of fun, and I like drawing my own stuff on the sides, so the white duct tape comes in really handy. I bought an extra roll, and I still have pretty much the entire extra roll. So now, from season to season, month to month, if anything kind of hollows out or the duct tape starts wearing in a spot, just do a couple more layers of duct tape, draw you a new shape on there, you know? All in all, I hope all you guys had a really happy Thanksgiving. I hope you got to be with your families. Enjoy Christmas, enjoy the holiday season, be nice to your neighbors, and of course, always remember, live what you love.